First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh.
You've been practicing?
No, not really.
Everybody's a little nervous at first to get started on the show and do this. And now that we've got cameras going on, everyone's just got to go karaoke style, which I love.
Nice.
Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a bit,
Good to see you.
How's everything? Good?
Everything is being great.
Been busy?
Thank God. Can't complain.
Yeah.
But I want to say three things before we start.
Go ahead. Shoot.
First of all, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on the show.
It is an honor for me to be here. And then second, I would like to thank you for all things that you do for construction people.
Thanks,
it is very, you speak for your heart, and I really appreciate it, and I love what you do. And thirdly, I would like to wish you all success. And I love to see you on Instagram. I love to see your face. And I love being here.
Thank you, Mher. Honestly, man, I really appreciate you saying that. It's great to hear that. I get the messages, I get everybody, and there's a few people that dislike me, but I don't really listen to them. But no, I really thank you so much for saying that, because it's this has been quite the adventure. You know what I mean? It's just been interesting. Where we got started, it was next to nothing, and we had one person listening, and then 10 people, and then it grew and grew and grew. And now a lot of people want to be on the show. And what I get from a lot of people that listen to the show is they're very respectful of you trades, including myself and everybody that's been on the show, sharing. Just sharing what they've gone through, what they've learned, and what they contribute and what they give back to the industry, and educating and inspiring the next generation. So I love that. I totally love that.
Exactly.
So thank you, honestly. And I got to thank you. Thank you so much for the...
No problem.
You'll always put a smile on my face if you give me a bottle of wine and coffee, like coffee, and I can't wait to try that. I thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
So we got. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your last name. Okay, so Mher, how do we pronounce the last name?
Kerushkerian.
That's not too bad. Kerushkerian.
Kerushkerian.
Okay,
you got it.
Yeah, no. So what's your background exactly?
Okay, I am Armenian, born and raised in Syria.
Okay.
Moved to Canada 2015.
Oh, so relatively new.
Yes.
I have plenty of respect for anybody that's an immigrant that comes in this country and leaves and then starts a new life here. That's a huge thing, right? My parents did it back in the 70s, and now a lot of people are doing it now. It adds to Canada. Canada, that's what we're all about, which is we'll open arms for everybody that come into the country, right?
Exactly.
So
Land of opportunities.
It's great. So Triple M Electric, you're the president. You've been on your own for 3 years now.
Yes.
Everybody, go to his website. It's www.triple-m-electric, and it's .ca.
Correct.
And then on the email,
excuse my handwriting there.
No, I see it. And email is mher@triple-m-electric.ca.
Correct.
And on IG, it's Triple M Electric.
Correct.
All right. So I actually want to do a couple of shout outs. First up is Phil. Thank you for the Miami heavy duty t-shirt. It's one of the first that he's created because he was recently on the show, and it's actually a comfy tee and I love it. And then also I got Gary Mher's logo on the sign there because Gary's been a huge influence for me and for the show, and he's been on the show several times, and you'll join that club too. I guarantee you. I think Gary's been on 5 times or something.
Nice.
And he'll continue coming on, right? And then that's it. I want to get started with the show, and I want to figure out why electric, why you started in electric, and how that kind of uphill career choice was like.
Oh, career choice. That's
not a job, Mher. It's not a job.
It is not a job. I agree with you. It's kind of odd for me. Since I came to Canada in 2015, I used to work as a telecom technician on towers, going on towers, working for companies like Roger and Bell in Lebanon. I did that for a year and a half, and then when we moved, it was on February.
Coming to Canada.
Coming to Canada, February 17, 2015.
The coldest month of the year.
Exactly. So when I came, it was on Wednesday. I started working on Monday. I found my first job on Kijiji, actually.
You just looked through and...
I just found something and I just applied, and the guy responded. And then next thing I know, I started on Monday.
Can I ask what the advert was? Like, what was he asking for?
He was asking for telecom technician.
That's it. Okay.
That's it.
So you already knew that.
I knew how to go on towers and work on those equipments, right? So I contacted him, and then he interviewed me. keep in mind my English at back then was very like almost zero. I could barely speak it. I could understand a bit, but I could say only good morning, how are you, and have a good day, and that's it. So I went.
I wish
there.
a lot of trades would just know that much. Just leave it at that. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I went there and I spoke with him in an interview. So I started working, and then 2 months later I got fired.
2 months later. So you were there for 2 months doing
2
great
months.
work for 2 months, and then
Exactly.
and then he fires you.
So what happened is our background from Lebanon, it wasn't a lot of safety involved in the trades.
No doubt, we've seen it. I understand it. Yeah.
So I had couple what's it called?
Close calls.
Close calls that, oh, you have to wear your hard hat, this and that. So I got fired because of safety reasons.
Got it.
And then
Just for the record, there's a lot of GCs and a lot of other trades that don't always put the lid on, and we all know it's a
Fine,
$250 fine. And I guess like speeding, you got to get caught
Exactly,
to get
to
fined.
learn, yeah.
Yeah, right. So okay,
Exactly. So I went on other jobs. I had some manufacturing jobs that I did, which it's not for me. It's not for my personality. So I started looking up on the internet. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I came across with electricals, which sparked me actually. And then after I started, a year and 2 years, I remember my grandfather used to be an electrician in back home. He was a linesman.
okay.
So, and then my grandma reminded me of it. I'm like, wow, maybe it's in my blood.
All his life, he was a linesman. He was an electrician.
Yes, all
Okay.
his life.
All right.
He broke his knees. He fell down from the pole and stuff. So, yeah, he was a linesman, and he passed away a long time ago, actually. But that inspired me more to continue down the road. And actually, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
You gravitated to it really well.
I actually, to be honest with you, I lied for my first job that I got that I
What?
have an experience from back home.
Yeah. It's not a lie. It's just you have to prove the truth. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So first day I got the job, I told my boss that I have experience from back home, which I had nothing. I know nothing about electrical. So every day I go home, I pull up YouTube, I learn some stuff, and I go and I ask the supervisor, I say, oh, how do you do this in Canada? Because back home is a different style. But I guess they knew that I was lying. But the boss said at that time, he's like, I'm keeping you. I know you're lying, but I'm keeping you because you're smart, you're learning fast. I like you, your work ethic and this and that. So that's why I'm keeping you in the company. I said, thank you very much for the opportunity. And then from there, I moved from electrical company to another. I worked 3 jobs at a time. And then next thing I know, I opened up my own. So yeah.
You got all your apprentice hours, and you kind of did all that
Exactly.
whole thing.
Exactly. I did that. And then I also brought experience from back home for 2,000 hours, I believe, which they gave me a hard time a little bit.
Did they allow that?
They do allow experience from back home. However, it's always hard to prove that you actually did electrical stuff back
okay.
home. That's why they always encourage to go from zero. So, but I worked hard. I said, I want to challenge the exam. Just give me the opportunity. I want to move fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they gave me the opportunity, and I proved it. I failed the first time, and I got it in the second time. From then, I waited 3 more years. Then I applied for master's. I got my master's license, and then I opened up my own.
It's a lot of work, for you guys, like the electricians and also the plumbers and the HVAC. It's a lot of prep work just to basically prove I'm good at what I do.
Exactly.
Like there isn't many trades out there that has to go through all the bells and whistles that you guys have to go through.
Exactly. And also for especially immigrants like me, it's always hard to understand the English on a code book.
Yeah.
It's like very high level of English, and you have to I know the code on the field, but I don't know how to find it or how to understand the code from the code book.
Listen, all of us that actually speak English and read English and write English still have that same problem. I'm just saying. Okay, so don't worry that it's not you and it's not where you came from. But I agree with you. It would almost be nice. Like, I would love Canada to have a bit larger open arms and maybe have different translations of the book. So you can at least practice with the English and your language and put them together. But that might open up a whole can of worms where it's like you do one, you're going to have to do all of them. And then now there's going to be so many different.
And I also kind of disagree on that, because we as immigrants, we have to come and adapt
to here, for sure. Here.
We don't expect the government to adapt on us, right?
But in all fairness, there's a lot of better techniques, electrical speaking, not here, outside of Canada, right? So I see the way the Irish and UK, the way they do their, like, they have the hubs, right? So everything goes to one source instead of having to go to every single plug or switch or something like that. And I think those sometimes are smarter ways of actually running electrical. So there's different ways, but
of course there is.
Yeah,
but some ways are safer than the others.
Yeah.
However, from my back home, was what I remember, we used to take the neutral off of the faucets, like the copper faucets. We used to just to run it. Yeah, just. It's very dangerous way of doing it.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, so sometimes when you have cuts on your fingers and you're washing your hands, you just feel the
little jolt.
Yeah. So don't do that.
No, and that's a standard there. That's the way.
It's not a standard. It's just
it's a cheat.
It's a cheat. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cheat.
It's a cheat. But I guess you just live with the little.
Yeah, just.
That's why I'm not an electrician. I don't like that I can't see where the pain is coming from. The pain just shows up.
Yeah,
that's it. Magically just shows up.
And the thing is, you don't see it. You don't see the electric.
You feel it.
You feel it, definitely.
You feel it. How was it taking that last exam for the masters? Was that intimidating for you?
It kind of on the being a couple of years on the trade, you kind of
confidence.
You feel you build your confidence, and you if you read the code book over and over and over again, you kind of understand the guy who wrote it, and then you understand how he thinks, and then you have the more understanding of code book, and then it gets easier by the time. But again, you have to do it over and over and over, like everything else, right?
Of course, it's just repetition. How was your all good experiences with ESA and inspectors and everything like that? Everything fine, or are they like, I don't know how?
Okay, I always had mostly have good experiences with ESA, especially with permits and everything.
I guess everybody outside of Canada, Electrical Safety Authority, I don't know what it's like in the US or what it's like.
We didn't have ESA back home. We didn't have an authority body to govern. No one had licenses. Whoever, this guy in the neighbor, he knows some stuff. He goes and
hire him.
Exactly, and then he blows everything up. So here with the ESA, with the safety and everything, so I had good experiences. I had only one bad experience, I would say, which I get it, but he was like, the inspector was angry.
He just showed up on site angry?
Angry, and he's yelling,
So was he coming from another site that maybe wasn't?
I have no idea how it was.
Okay.
He was giving us hard time that I had to go to his supervisor and complain about him to be nice. Like,
was it just personality wise? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing. We're not here to teach you what you're doing." I'm like, okay, relax. We're here to work and get this job done. You know what I mean?
If there's something
if you
wrong,
want to fail me, and I will fix it. But you don't have to give me an attitude about it. Anyway, he failed me a couple of times, for small staple, that I missed. And
so little things that most inspectors overlook, they're not critical.
It's let's say every 4 or 5 feet you have to support the wires, right? That's the code.
Me personally, I don't like that. I'm just saying I don't like that because I like the freedom I love electricians that leave a loop right at the box.
Exactly. That's what
Because I like the freedom that if I have to move that
it,
box
you have this
6
flat.
inches to it, this I can do it. And it's kind of, sometimes I see certain electricians just peg it way too many times. Like they'll go over the top every 2 feet or something like that. And now you're fighting to try to, what if there's a change? This is construction. Clients change all the time. I want that receptacle moved there. If you're doing wainscoting and you want to plant receptacles or fixture, anything like that in a certain area, you want to have that freedom to move without having to contact you to move it.
Exactly.
Right? So it's just, okay, so I get it. Every 4 feet, you're supposed to have that.
Yes. So I always keep my apprentice handy when an inspector comes. I say, take a bunch of staples with a hammer. Just whatever he's looking at, go just hammer. He says he didn't even let me to do that. He's like, oh, I saw it. I don't call the inspection if you're not ready for inspection. I saw it. I'm like, what's the big deal? I can just staple it while we're talking, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, he failed me on that. So I felt, like he's doing, he has some intentions towards me. You know what I mean?
So it was personal at that point, but you got failed because there was a lack of staples, and not a dramatic lack of staples. It was just a lack of staples in one or
two areas.
That's it.
That
was the reason for not passing it.
You know how sometimes in a basement, especially the studs, it's not touching the concrete.
And you have every right to run it.
But you have to staple it.
Or you can zip tie it and then screw it and hold it. Yes, totally.
1 or 2 points, we missed it because the insulation, it was almost holding the wire against the wood. It's not like dangling, right? So because, we're rushing, we're working, we're doing this and that, we missed a couple of spots, right? So I don't know how he saw it. First thing he walked in, he saw those.
Goes right to there.
It goes right to there.
I think what I've spoken to so many inspectors are cold consultants. Mm-hmm. They walk on site. They're doing their pleasantries. So they're saying hello or whatever. Or this particular guy maybe wasn't even doing that. He was just angry. But they come in and peripherally in the corner of their eyes, they're looking at, I need to find one thing that I can kind of dig at.
Yeah.
So maybe he walked in and he saw that and he was like, okay, well, this is going to be the red flag that I'm going to bring up. And this is what I'm going to, because I think they go in there not wanting to give you a perfect pass, like a perfect 100. It has to be 99 or something like that.
Exactly.
And I'm like, how about we work together? So if we do miss something, sure. You guys are running through. You've got X amount of receptacles, switches, boxes, resets, so many things, right? And you're going through, and then you've got the clients changing. You got so much going on.
Exactly.
Then you want to call for the inspection, and then you guys have to get that window of inspection. So you could either go 8 to 4.
We don't have much time.
Yeah, so it's like you sit around. So it's possible, miss one little thing. But that's not a dangerous thing regarding clipping. Like the staples, that's not a dangerous thing.
It's not like your let's say gauge of the wire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the gauge of the breaker, this and that is staples. Once it's behind the walls, it's behind the walls.
Were you nervous to go to the supervisor?
I was. I didn't know because it might affect negatively on the job.
Yeah.
I said I had no other choice because we had to get moving and everyone was actually waiting on me to get the inspection passed. So I called his supervisor and next time he showed up on the job site, he was happy. He passed me without even looking, going into the site. I'm like, what happened?
Can I ask what you said to the supervisor? You just basically explained.
I said, I don't like pulling the immigrant card, but I kind of felt it was personal. You know what I mean?
Got it.
I kind of felt it was personal because I gave him all the options to fix it and working together to get the job done. And he was just blocking me every way I give him of fixing the issue. Is like, no.
You wanted to fix the issue.
Of course.
You were willing to fix it.
And I like the inspectors to give me defects because that's how we learn.
Yeah.
That's how we learn, right? I don't mind getting the defects, but I want to fix them. I don't want to hold on to the job site or the contractor or the client just because he has some personal issues or I have no idea. So next time he was very happy, very very forgiving, I guess. He walked in, he saw something, everything. He says everything is perfect. He passed, and he went home.
Good for you to actually do that, because I encourage all young trades and even old trades that have been around. Like, you have the right to do that. Like, do it professionally. You have the right to speak up and say, listen, I'm not being treated fairly here. I think that there's something else going on, and I think that something should be evaluated. You have every right to do that as a tradesperson. Yeah. They are there as a body to oversee us and to, check us, but they're not there to attack us, right?
And also, you know what happened? Because of that, he gave me like 5 defects or something.
So you just added more stuff.
Because of the railing wasn't there. If it's a construction site.
But that's not your responsibility.
But I get the defect.
How does that work? That's on the site super or the GC or
exactly. It's called management defect.
No, hang on. Because from what I understood is that the ESA doesn't have the authority to step on the OBC or MOL. They don't have that authority to do that. They can call behind your back and be a snitch, so to speak, and go, by the way, pass by this job site, the handrails were not installed properly, and there's possible risk. They can do that if they want to, but they can't go after you as an electrician regarding that, like a handrail. But he brought it up.
I got it in my record.
Really?
Yes, that it is a defect. So I didn't say nothing about those. But 5 defects for an electrician, it affects because we have some sort of a percentage, right? It affects on your next jobs, for the next inspectors that they're going to visit the site. So I had a rough time after that to prove the other inspectors for my other jobs.
Because you were now flagged.
Flagged, exactly. Even one of the inspector, I had a job in Etobicoke. He walked in before he said anything. What is wrong with your company?
Oh,
he's
really?
Like, you're having so many defects. I'm like, I had a rough patch. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to prove that I am worthy of passing, because
this is different inspectors,
different area, different inspector. Actually, that inspector, he says, I understand. Every electrical company, sometimes they have bad employees. They do, they don't know the code very well. They miss stuff here and there. They get defect, and then it affects on the other sites and other jobs. He was very understanding. He was like, you know what? I'm not gonna even go in. I'm gonna pass you. I'm gonna give you a break on this. I said, thank you very much. And
but were there any defects on that job site when he was visiting that to inspect it? Everything was fine? Everything was fine.
Yeah, everything was fine. It wasn't a big job anyways. He was like running a couple of receptacles for office spaces. Like, it was adding 3 circuits. That was it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's interesting that all of a sudden you got technically blacklisted because you were getting personally, I guess, attacked by one, and it started, and all of a sudden now you had to step up and prove yourself that you're not a bad electrician, you're not a bad company.
Exactly. And then I had to go, for every jobs, I had to make sure, work double as much to make sure, check double, go one more time. Apprentice calls me, is like, oh, I am done. Okay, do one more time.
Check again.
One more time. One more time, like triple time. And after he's done, I go and check it myself, just to make sure I don't get enough defects. Because again, it will affect the next one and the next one and the next one. It kind of grows.
So, Mher, how about the cowboys out there? Because you get the electrical companies, I guess the larger ones or the more senior electricians, they don't even come by. They call it in and they get passed. And
it's because of that percentage, actually. Because if you have 95% above that your job sites are getting passed, then the inspectors will see your records, will see, okay, this guy is doing a good job. He knows his code, he knows his stuff, so they can pass without showing up, so they can go other sites. They can tackle more job sites for that area. They can trust the electricians that doing the job, which I understand. Is
that a good thing or a bad thing?
It is a good thing, I think.
All right.
It's a very good system that helps the electricians, whoever's doing a good job, to move the project faster.
So how long does that last, though? So if you've got such a stellar record, and you've got your top 95% kind of thing, and now they don't even come by anymore. They phone in the inspection.
Sometimes. Again, it depends on the inspector, and again, depends on the areas.
So the actual site visit is on the discretion of the inspector based on past history of that company or the
every inspector goes to their car or vehicle every morning. They check their daily
their
login. They see, okay, well, I have this, I have that. Oh, this guy has a 95%.
So
I know him.
I
sign off on him. The inspector decides on that day if he's going to show up or not. And some inspector, they're nice enough to send a text message, so you can, so you don't have to wait on them. Some inspectors, you have to call them or text them, or you have to call the office to know. They will email the inspector to find out if he's going to show up or not. So it's sometimes communicating with the inspector is a hassle, because they're on the road, right? They're inspecting other jobs. If I don't know if he's going to show up, let's say from 10 to 11, and I'm there wasting our time and the company time from 8 to 4, and someone has to pay that. And if you address that to the client, he's not happy about it. He's not happy about he's going to pay one guy standing there.
Literally standing there.
Literally standing there just waiting for the inspector.
Yeah.
And I don't like, because some companies, what they do, they don't wait for the inspectors. I have my previous companies that I work for, they're like, you know what, we're not going to wait for the inspector. We're just going to pull the permit or the inspection so the inspector comes in, inspects the job without anyone from that company present. I don't like doing that because...
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
I thought you had to have at least one representative of the job or the company there to walk through with the inspector.
It's a good practice because you can actually explain the inspector what has done, what you have done, what's the... if it's a reno, what's existing, what's new, you have to explain what happened and whatnot. However, my previous boss was like, no, I'm not going to babysit him. He can go, if he has some problems, he can call me. I can explain him on the phone. I guess 10 plus years in the industry, it kind of, for us, the new starters, we're like, oh, we want to impress the inspector. We want to build a record. We want to do this. We want to do that. Just to prove maybe over 10, 20 years from now, I will be similar to him. I wouldn't care so much about the inspection, but I can tell you in the beginning, it's more of, we get nervous when when the inspectors come by, so.
But you gotta figure out how much time is being wasted. If you're literally a man down, a tradesperson down on site waiting for the inspector, it could be 8 hours of lost productivity, right? Exactly. So now that's 8 hours that's taken away from another job. Now, let's say you do 2 jobs, 3 jobs a week. Like, that's a lot of time.
Exactly. So, and we can't do, let's say if I have a job 1 and job 2, and let's say I finish them both at the same time, I can't do inspection both of them in the same day.
No, you can't.
Because I don't know what time he's going to show up. If I know, let's say if we have some sort of a, like from 10 to 12, right? Okay, I can say, okay, from 10 to 12 or 3 hours window. I can understand that as well. If there's a 3 hours window, you can at least book another inspection in a day. At least if you know you're wasting one guy, You can waste them on two job sites.
Are you getting 3-hour windows? I'm hearing most electricians get like 8-hour windows.
No, that's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
If we get 3-hour windows, that will be great, because inspector usually know that
they've got an idea of what their day is going to be.
Exactly.
Where they're
How
going
many-
to do a route, right?
Exactly.
So it's no different. So they're going to, and you just have to figure out where are you in their route.
Yes, yes.
But wouldn't it be nice if the ESA or the inspector can actually just send out a flash email to let everybody know, here's the opportunity that I'm going to be on your
Exactly.
job site. But
Exactly.
I guess, I don't know, that's too much to ask.
No, some inspectors, they do. In the
They
morning,
do. They call.
They text.
Oh, they
Let's say
text.
we estimating that we're going to be there from 10 to 12, but nothing guaranteed. I understand that. Thank you for letting me know. I can schedule my day better.
Yes.
And then half an hour earlier, some inspector again, they text. They said we're on our way. We're gonna show up, and then we inspect the job. Again, thank you for letting me know. I guess some what we need in our trade is better communication between ESA and tradespeople, because I think what happened, they feel like they are against each other, which I disagree. We are both on the same side.
There's that stereotype, though.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with the building inspectors.
We're on the same side. We want to
Yeah.
get the job done.
Yeah,
and we want to do it in a proper manner.
Yes. We don't want to hide anything.
We don't want to hide anything. We're not here to cut corners. We're
Yeah.
not here to do, unsafe work, because it will affect us and affect the client. It will affect everyone, right? So that's why I feel like we have to communicate better, in order for us to have better scheduling, better results, better, happier client. That's important for us, to have a happy client
It's
after
amazing how much more stuff you have going on outside of the actual inspection. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so much happening going on, and then there's this inspection that can just put the brakes on everything, and then also affect your business.
It does affect
Yeah.
And then funny how some electricians, they promote themselves as, oh, I know this inspector. This area is, I know this inspector. He will pass, so he will get the job. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way.
That's garbage, man. That's not a truthful statement.
It's not. Definitely,
Yeah.
it's not. But unfortunately, some tradespeople do that.
They'll use it as a sales pitch.
Exactly. Oh, I know this. I have it in my pocket. This and that. This is
So you just admitted to bribery, is what you said.
exactly. Yeah, it's just nonsense.
Yeah, it doesn't work
Nonsense.
that way.
So clients doesn't know, and I don't blame them not knowing, because that's not their job. That's not their. We can tell them anything.
Yeah.
They can believe. You know what I mean? It is up to us to be transparent with them, because it's not nice. We're not here to lie and hide things and just say, oh, we know this guy. We have the knowledge. Oh, we'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Doesn't work that way.
One thing I found very, very strange when I first learned about electrical and ESA and inspections was a homeowner can do all their own wiring on their own dwelling. The king of the castle
Yes.
rule.
Yes.
It still has to get inspected. You still have to pull a permit. You still have to go through the whole process. But that client can run that wire, staple that, do the boxes, do everything. And it's not done the professional way, but it's done, I guess, to the bare minimum of what the code standards are asking for. I still find it really strange that a homeowner is allowed to do that. I don't think that should be allowed. I think it should still be a professional that does it.
It is allowed because you're taking the liability of your house.
Yes.
Right. However, I find that, inspector, if he shows up on a site, like if the homeowner is performing the job, of course he's gonna look into every single detail.
You would think.
And they do.
Yeah.
They do. Actually, I came across to jobs like that. I came across to jobs like even they didn't even pull the permit. They did the job, and then I guess the neighbor or someone snitched on them, And then he called me. He's like, okay, I did this project. I didn't call the inspection. Now they gave me a letter that if we don't pull a permit, then we will need to, either they will take the meter away. It's like, they're very strict.
And they're allowed to do that. They
They're
can
allowed-
do that.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yeah.
So I walked in to the site. I see it's very beautifully done, like luxury. You can see the tiles. You can see the finishing. It's very beautiful. I thought to myself, if you are spending that much of money, you're just saving a couple hundreds
The cost of a
for
permit
for
is
the
nothing.
permit,
I know.
and also just to, I don't know, to speed up the process, I guess. Anyway, I see, by code, every counter space has to have receptacle,
Yes.
especially if it's beside the oven and everything.
Yes.
So I see there's nothing on a countertop receptacle except one, and that is sharing with the fridge. And the
Fridge is
backsplash
supposed to be dedicated on
on
Okay,
its
all
own,
right.
and
Yes.
a countertop has to be dedicated.
Dedicated, yeah.
Yes. You can share, if it's a 20 amp circuit, you can share with one extra, but it has to be, the minimum has to be 2 circuits. There are some codes. So is sharing with the same circuit, the fridge and the countertop, and the backsplash is like one of those quartz that goes
full slab.
full slab.
Okay.
And then I have to add some receptacles in order for, and I start to open up some points here and there. I said to see if whoever did it, in a professional manner or he's just sloppy work. I opened up some points. I saw like it's a decent work. The guy knew what he was doing. I opened up some pot lights, this and that. I started hammering here and there, open up some, cuts on the wall to see if everything was a staple, everything was nicely done. After 2 days of work, actually, we called the marble guy, came and cut out the receptacle spots for us, and then we ran new circuits.
Fishing
And everything. It cost him almost $4,500.
so much more.
Yes. To fix that issue. He could have done it with a couple hundred more extra, right? And then from then, that client, he hires me, because I tell him, if you want to save here, then you will end up paying much more later. Right? Let's do it proper way.
That's 100%
so you can
true.
sleep better at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's funny how it's just, and also clients have a hard time. This statement is just for clients that are listening, right? The moment you want to move one receptacle, one switch, one light fixture, you require a permit.
Exactly.
That's it.
Anytime you touch wiring system of the house, you have to have a permit.
You have to have a permit, and it's not a difficult. It's much easier than getting a building permit. Right? It is much easier.
It is, and it's faster.
It's faster too. So it's not that difficult to get the permit. So I don't understand why they want to avoid the permit. The only reason I could think of is maybe because of their impact rating. They don't want the assessment of their taxes to realize, okay, well, we upgraded the kitchen and now we have all the proper receptacles and we have 10,000 pot lights now. And so they just increased the value of the house, which means that their taxes are going to go up. Maybe that's the core idea on why homeowners don't want to apply for a permit.
To be honest with you, I have no knowledge of why they would do that.
They just do
I
it.
think maybe it's because of emotional. Again, it could be some clients that, inspector, means, they can fail, they can do this,
They'll
they
find
worry
other
other
things or
things,
something. Yeah.
and then I have to spend much more money. The things that I don't know, it's a lot of emotional. For the clients, they don't know what to expect, especially if they bought the house fairly new, right? They don't know what it is in the house, and you go in what you expect to find. And us electricians as well, when we come into a site, if we see something wrong, we obligated to fix it. Like one time happened.
You have to fix it. So if you discover it,
if I discover it and if it's dangerous,
It's your responsibility
it's
now.
my responsibility to fix it.
Yes.
If I get paid on it or not, it is my responsibility to fix it. Payment can come later. I had a situation like that when I walked into a commercial space. You know, those big splitters that come in with the 600 volts.
Yeah.
They go spread to many disconnects, and then from there to the panel.
Yeah.
So I walk into the site. My job was replacing one panel, right? Of course, shut it off, do my thing, call ESA. But before I pursue my job, I went to the disconnect spot, like the main electrical spot. I saw the main 600 volt splitter with a lot of holes on them, and the holes like this big. Whoever ripped out stuff, they never covered those.
They never put another filler or.
If a screw goes in there, it will.
It's a firework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even hesitate.
That's dangerous.
I didn't even hesitate. I know the building was divided by like 2 units, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even hesitate. I just shut it off the main. I shut off the main. Building manager comes, and the owner comes, and the landlord and the tenant, and everyone comes. What happened? What happened? I said, I had to shut it down in order for me to fix this. Now my priority is that.
You discovered it. Your responsibility. You have to fix it.
I have to fix it. And he started yelling at me, the client, landlord, oh, we're not paying you to do this. We're not paying you to do that. I'm like, you want to pay me or you don't want to pay me? I don't care. I want to fix this because it is dangerous. Oh, don't say dangerous in front of my tenants because they get, hey, he's afraid of, because the tenants, they're going to fight. Oh, it was dangerous.
They'll question, they'll bring it up.
Exactly. I said, that's your problem. It is not my problem. It is my problem to fix this. I am an electrician. It is my job. I'm here to fix this.
What was the fix, Mher? What was it? You had to put a cap or a plate or something.
Yeah, like some fillers we call
fillers,
them.
okay.
I cut them fillers, and not only that, one of the disconnect was like this, almost falling off.
Really?
Holding on a pipe.
Wow.
On the pipe only. So I had to shut the main thing off and support everything back, make it all nice and neat and clean, cover all the holes was open, and then check everything, open them up again, check all the connections and this and that. Because I guess whoever was going out, the lease was done on everything. They were just ripping stuff out,
Yeah.
Which it's not my business. That part is not my business.
It's
my
done.
business is done.
At that point, it's done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now, we have to fix this. And then they call me, okay, how much is going to cost this and that? Okay, I said, you know what? Let's not focus on the cost right now. Let's leave that at next stage. Let's focus on fixing this right now. Let me fix this. Let me finish. And then we call the ESA and whatever, and hydro, whatever. We energize this on a safely manner, and then we'll talk. Let's focus on fixing. We did it. We were 2 guys, right? I made one guy working on that panel on the other side, and I was only dedicated to fixing those. Once we're done, we call the ESA, hydro, whatever. They come, they see, okay, everything is good. I energize it back. Everything is normal. So
And everything's safe.
everything is safe.
Yeah.
600 volt is no joke.
That you don't want to mess around with that. If you're thinking about those the little neutrals coming off,
No, my God.
that's nothing compared to 600, man.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. Like, that's death.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And does the building want that? No, nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. But
Yeah.
I think the building owner was expecting me to do it in a quiet manner. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but somebody left it very loud. So now you have to fix it.
Exactly.
That's just bottom line. That's how it works. But I guess they're looking at numbers, how long it's going to take.
Exactly.
Upsetting
On a
tenants.
business.
Yeah, it's a business, right?
It's business for them.
But you can't cost of lives in business.
Exactly.
Like, you can't do that as a tradesperson, especially electrician. You can't do that.
Exactly.
You can't ignore it. Whoever was the last person, we don't know who that was, but
Yeah.
they did that. It doesn't mean that you have to do that,
Exactly.
and you shouldn't do that. That's interesting.
Yeah. And dangerous, like in our trade, especially in every trade, people can make mistakes, right? In electricians and electrical field, our mistakes can have dangerous effects, which we all can experience shock and this and that. It's normal to have those, but when we have to be 100%. We can't just say, oh, today I'm lazy, I don't want to do anything, and not think about the next person. We can't do that. We have to be 100%.
Yeah.
Right. So
I got one question for you, because it's I think it would be the number one problem that other tradespeople have about electricians is all the little pieces that are cut and left nearby, exposed finished flooring, brand new flooring, and they leave them there. They don't clean them up, or they try to sweep them, and then they scratch the floor. Now I've seen a lot of electricians learning, and they're getting a vacuum, and they just suck it all up.
Yeah.
But then there's the really bad electricians that just leave them all there.
Yeah.
And then someone steps on it, and then you cry a scratch. And then,
yeah.
how do we get every electrician to not can somebody, like Klein or somebody, build a tool that cuts and catches? I know it's impossible, but cuts and catches, all these little things.
Well, I don't know. For us, cleaning is some sort of it has to be personal.
Yes.
Like you have to treat the person's house is like your own. Like you would not want a scratch to happen on your floor.
No.
You're not going to want to have a messy place in your house, right? It's important to clean after yourself. Same as important to clean after yourself in your home house.
100%.
Right? So,
or your work vehicle.
Your work vehicle. I've seen so many work vehicles that, especially at the front.
I don't get it.
Oh,
I don't get it. The whole
drinks,
dash. All you see is you have this picture of a collision, an accident, and then just rolling over and cups of Tim Hortons, it's just flying all over.
Cups and food.
I think the best thing you can do is, like, if you have a tradesperson come on site, go to their work vehicle and just take a little peek inside and see what it looks like. If it looks like a horror show,
then don't hire him.
Don't hire him, or have a word with them.
Yes.
And go make sure you're going to clean this, right? That you do the work. But I mean, take a little bit of pride, and it's difficult. I know you're constantly working 6 days a week. You have long hours. Then you keep on adding like this to the truck and this to the truck, and all of a sudden it becomes a mess. But you'd be surprised if you clean it up. Your workday is different. Your mentality is different.
Exactly.
Your mind, everything is different.
Exactly.
You're actually a better tradesperson if you have it. If you step out of that clean vehicle instead of stepping out of a dirty vehicle.
Exactly.
It totally works.
Exactly.
So I don't know how to. All I do is I ask. That's all I do. Is I just make sure you clean this up, please.
Exactly. Like as you said, they have to bring it up for the electrician as a reminder.
Yeah.
Some people, we work fast. We want to get it in and out. They forget. Even the clean ones, they forget sometimes to clean themselves after themselves, and then it's just the client or the contractor is there to remind them, right? So. And then we don't have to get offended by it. We just have to get in, clean, and get out.
I got a little funny story to share. It's related and not related, but I went to my favorite chicken place yesterday, and there was a big line, and there was a new guy on the line chopping up the chicken to get it all ready. And then he was coming up to my chicken to chop. And he chops it up fast, and he scoops it up, puts it into the tray, and one little piece of chicken is left. But he closes the container, right? And I see him move my container along, and I'm just staring at the one little piece there. And then he sees me staring at it, and I don't even say a word. And he just grabs the piece of chicken and then opens up the container and puts it back in. And I think that's what I'm going to start doing now with all the trades.
I'm
just going to look at them. That's all. I'm going to look at them.
At it.
I go, you see it, I see it, we all see it. Clean it up, man.
Yeah. Just like that TikToker that does like this.
That's all it is. That's it. Nothing has to be said. Nothing has to be said, man.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a lot about, because you, I would say, had a more difficult path to become a master electrician than a typical Canadian here that went to schooling, apprentice, and worked their way. How do we educate this younger generation? How do we get them into a proper mindset of not these many bad habits and understanding that there's so many things that you have to do to become a master electrician? And it takes time. It's not overnight.
So your question is for the young Canadians.
Anybody that's interested in getting in electrical and they want to be a tradesperson, how would we teach them? How do we start teaching them?
Good question. Start teaching them. I guess for me, for my experience, just have fun. For me, the main point of me being on the site is not about the money. It's not about the client. It's not about the, yes, because of the project. I like electrical and whatever. It's for me to be there and have fun. I like having fun, and from day one, they call me, oh, the guy with the radio. Whenever I go, radio is right by me, and I listen to music, and I have fun, make jokes with people, this and that. However, when you first start, you're gonna have some rough paths. Like maybe people will bully you, maybe people will treat you badly, swear at you, yell at you. It's unfortunately it's common in construction. So what I tell people from my own experience, those are I look at them not a bad thing. I look at them as a learning experience for me. So let's say when I first started, my supervisor was hiding my lunch bag on a tree, just to record me when I, go
looking for it,
and I jump,
yes,
to get it.
Yes.
I'm like, I saw it. He was just want to record me, right? So I just grab a stick, grab my lunch bag. Yeah. I went, So for me, it's okay. I'm still great friends with that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't get offended. I didn't get, I look at it in a learning opportunity.
It's fun. It's fun on
It's fun.
site.
He wants to have fun.
Yeah.
That's his way of having fun. Whatever. My way of having fun is listening to music, having chat with people, just dance
getting to know
sometimes,
anybody.
That's my personality. Just find how, what's your way of having fun and imply it in day-to-day job. If in electrical, you can do that. No one's going to say, oh, why you're singing. No one's going to say why you're having fun, which is great. In offices, it's if you have an office work, it's
you can't do it. Yeah,
you can't yell and dance, and
you'll be sent to HR right away.
Exactly. We have that opportunity. We are like, I feel it. We are more free, in our day-to-day work. We can go places, because I had a manufacturing job, right? I felt like a prisoner.
You were stuck.
At the end of my job, I was even crying every day on a machine, doing same thing over and over again for 1 year and 1 month. Every day, I go to my manager and I say, okay, I'm going to the washroom. If I go too many times to the washroom, manager calls me, oh, you're going too many times to the washroom. I'm like, I have things to do in the washroom.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a human, not a robot, and eventually I started crying. This is not my place. I want to find something else, that suits my personality. So I feel like electrical suits 100% my personality.
Who you are.
Who I am.
And you want to be around other people
that
similar, but they're different trades.
Exactly.
I love that environment. I love having the same kind of mindset, everybody wanting to learn, everybody wanting to achieve, accomplish the work, take pride.
Exactly.
Everybody. And I don't like grumpy people coming on site. And you're right. You were totally 100% right to do what you did with the inspector showing up that way and I guess attacking you, for lack of a better word, right?
Yeah, because I have nothing against anyone.
It wasn't needed.
Yeah, I have nothing against anyone, and life is too short
Yeah.
to have, yell at someone and this and someone and that someone. It's just do it, man. You know what I mean? Just get it done. Have fun.
Do you try the same thing with the clients? Because electricians are always a part of designer and client meetings, and it's whatever's the latest trends, what's going on. We want these lights. Everybody's
Applied.
bringing commercial lights into residential,
Yes.
and we want to see 15,000 architectural design trim kits, and we want drywall trim. So you're a part of that whole conversation.
It is.
But clients don't understand the behind the scenes of all that stuff. There's a lot of work involved.
It definitely has, especially with, let's say, fixtures, right? Fixtures is sometimes clients tell me, okay, I don't know anything about the fixtures. I trust you. You're an electrician. You're the expert. Bring me the fixtures, and if I like them, I'll install them. I said, okay, I can do that. But I had a time that I supplied the fixtures. I said, okay, I can bring in my fixtures. If you like them, I can install them. He says, yeah, don't worry. Bring them in. I went there. I brought fixtures. It was architecture design fixtures. I installed them. After a month or two, he calls me. They're too bright. I'm like, we discussed on this, and then I showed you even. I have a tester. I plug it in my van, and then
so you actually showed him
how the light will turn on when it turns on. And he's like, oh, they're too bright. Can we change them? I say, you know what? What we can do is, because they're dimmable, we can put a dimmer on it. You can dim it down. It's nice, and whatever you feel like it, you can
whatever mood you
adjust
in.
it. Yeah, exactly. He says, yeah, great idea. I go in, install the dimmer, I go out after a month. Even if I dim it all the way down,
it's
still bright. We don't like those fixtures. We want to replace them. I said, okay, I can do that, but those fixtures cost me like each, I think it was $200, something like that, cost on me.
Okay.
So it was like $900 off my pocket. Now I can't return it because everything is
You didn't
installed.
get them to absorb that cost?
I tried, but they didn't want to. It's like, oh, we didn't know, and this and that. I'm like,
you tested it.
I
showed it.
I tested it. And he was a long client of mine. Like, he's a good client of mine. I say, you know what? It was my mistake to bring in fixtures. Next time, if you want to have fixture, you bring it in.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah.
And then from there, I try not to provide fixtures, especially the design fixtures, architecture fixture. If it's a pot light, I tell them this is the standard we use. If you want to have architecture, design, fancy stuff, you provide it. We come and install it, no problem. But anything that you provide, if you don't like it, we have to charge you to come back and replace it.
For sure.
But again, some people, I don't know. Again, I don't blame the clients. They don't have the knowledge, or we have better knowledge of. Let's say you have this office, right? We walk in, we know what type of a lighting will suit the best in this space. We have that knowledge. So some people, they want that knowledge, but again, it's a taste. Lighting is a taste. So if I have that taste in me, you might have a different taste. You might like pot lights in here. I would say, you know what? Pot lights might not be good in this application.
But there's a cost associated with that. And I understand it. The clients, you can show them a test. You can show them a sample of what the wall is going to look like, the floor is going to look like, the furnishing is going to look like. But until everything's put together, you don't know for sure what it's going to feel like. And I understand that. I totally understand that. But if you don't like what it feels like at the end of that, there's a cost associated with that to change it. And as long as you understand that cost, it's no different than I remember the very first time where you had to explain to a client that installing a fixture is an hourly based project.
It is,
because I do not know what fixture you're going to purchase, and I have no idea how many pieces there are attached to that fixture.
A million crystals. You have to
insane amount. So someone still has to install it, and then you start having those conversations about, the clients will assemble it and put it all together, and then can you just hang it? Doesn't work that way. the frame of the fixture has to be installed, hardwired, connected, finished, and then all of the decorative pieces, so to speak, have to be installed. So if you want to take on that responsibility, then by all means do that. But if that's the kind of client that wants to be associated, then that's not the right client for a professional electrician, right?
Exactly. So, and also, some chandeliers take 1 hour to install. Some chandeliers, it takes a day.
Yeah.
With four people.
Or longer, and a scaffold. And
exactly.
Yeah, I know.
I walked into a job site that a client of mine referred me to another client. He said the entire house is finished. Everywhere is glass railing, everything glass. The walls are from the outside. You see, everywhere is glass. And then they had to install a chandelier right on top on the the stairs, right? And it's almost impossible to get it. Even the scaffolding won't be. So I had to be creative, and I had to create my own scaffolding from a second floor hallway to hallway, and create some sort of.
I know.
And put a big pieces of wood and a plywood and a wood and a plywood to make sure it's safe. And then we went there. We installed the chandelier. The chandelier cost was on the client. I think it was $6,000 chandelier.
Ouch.
It took us 6 hours to install that chandelier, and 3 guys. So 3 guys, electricians, working on one chandelier. So imagine how much of a difference it can be. Some chandeliers, you just open it up, unbox it,
pop it in,
put it up, half an hour, you're done.
Yeah.
It depends.
But even those are not just given. They shouldn't be just given. It still takes you a half hour to an hour or whatever to install that.
Yeah.
And there has to be a cost associated with that.
Exactly. And a lot of clients, they don't understand the unboxing it, cleaning it up, taking it, put it in the garbage, and this and that. It almost the same time as the installing of the chandelier. Oh, how hard it can be to put it a chandelier. Okay, not only the chandelier. We have to unbox it. We have to bring it wherever it is. It is in your garage. It's outside. We have to go pick it up, whatever. We have to come, unbox it. Then we have to install it and then clean it up, whatever, unwrap it, whatever it is, right? So this also is time consuming, and someone has to pay for those, right?
That's just how it works. It's as simple as that. So I understand it. I mean, what's new in the industry right now? I know that, I think personally, people are overlighting.
I agree. I kind of like that. I kind of like that.
I like options.
Exactly.
Sure. But I think that they're overlighting.
I agree. But the thing is, what I tell my clients, it's always to have more than less, right? If you have, let's say, for example, if you have more pot lights, you can put a dimmer on it, and then you can set it as much as you want.
Bring it down.
But if you have, let's say, 10 pot lights, and then it's not bright enough, then you have to call an electrician again. You have to add and this, and call ESA, whatever, if it's adding pot lights, right? So those has to be, for me, I say, you know what, you do, for avoiding not calling electrician after, just do it a little bit more and see what the end result will be. Because if you see it on the paper, a designer designed you a piece of paper and shows you the lighting.
They figured it out.
They figured it out. It's not going to be 100%. People, they imagine that is going to be the end line, which is. I
love those drawings with the little circles where the lights are, and then the little loop to the next light, and loop to the next light. Exactly. But this room has never been built. We have no idea how it's going to feel.
That loop, how long it is.
I know. So I was like, okay, it's been built and installed exactly how this was drawn, but it doesn't feel right in the space. And then you got to question it. So that's where the conversation, and you go back to your earlier point of the whole show, I think, is communication. It's communication with the designer, communication with the homeowner, communication with the ESA. It's just communication. Sure, it's easy to draw and plan everything, but it may not be exactly what you're looking for. So you might have to add 2 or 3 or whatever, change the fixtures. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Some people, again, either they blame the electrician or the designer, the clients say, oh, you didn't know. It's almost impossible to know what the end result will be. we have an idea of it, but it can't be 100%. But that's why I suggest having dimmers or other controls. Nowadays, we have like so many options with smart, connectivity on the phone. It's everything. Amazing. Yeah. Technology went. So it is cost again, but it will save you if you want to add more later.
In the future.
Exactly. If you want to add 2 more pot lights, 3 more pot lights, the electrician has to come in. Again, his travel time, his again, boxing, running wires, fishing them because it's harder now, right? It will cost you more than having that technology. Even that technology, you will like to use that because now you're getting more what you paid for, right? In the future, you're going to have just 2 more pot lights, 3 more pot lights, and you're not going to have that technology again, So that's why I say you will have more when you pay now than in the future. In the future, when the old walls are closed, your money is going to be like less worth, like a half a less worth. Because
I totally agree. I totally agree.
So,
are you guys seeing a lot of new fixtures that are giving you the option of color temperature now?
Yes, actually, I love that.
You love that?
I love that.
But I thought most homes wanted to be a warmer tone, anything from 28 or 2900 down Kelvin. Mm-hmm. And then you get into more commercial spaces and you're getting higher up to 5,000, 5,600.
5,000
Kelvin, right? So, but it's nice. Like, you like that option in homes. I've never been a fan of colder temperature lighting.
Some people, believe it or not, they like it.
Yeah.
I personally don't like warm in house. In my house.
Okay.
So it depends on the house. If it's a modern house,
that's where I was gonna. Yeah, exactly.
If it's an old and like some has history in it, you would like to have it warmer. If you have pictures on the wall, you want to have pictures. Lighting. You want to have warm light. Kind of easier on the eyes. But personally, if I want to walk into my house, I want to have it bright, You
want a bright blue, cooler.
Not blue. I like 4,000.
4,000. So you're almost in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't like hospital, and I don't like a lot warm,
Yeah.
So, because in that application, the colors you see you're seeing them differently.
And one thing that's really scary that clients and designers needs to also understand is that mixing and matching.
Yeah.
You can have your temperature for all your recessed lights. You can have your temperature for all your strip, LED strip lighting, accent lighting, and then you can have your temperature for all your fixtures.
Yeah.
And if they are slightly off and you turn everything on when you're using it, you're going to hate it.
Exactly.
You're going to look at it and you go, this is not appealing.
It's almost impossible. If you have so many lightings in the house, it's almost impossible to match them because every manufacturer's let's say
it's slightly
3K
different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
3K of, let's say, one manufacturer, it doesn't match 3K of other manufacturer, because everyone built it differently. If it's built in China, is different. If it's built in Canada, is different. It's built Europe, is different, right? So it depends. So you have to actually get samples and turn them on to see if the lights will match one another. That's my approach. I always like to get samples before approaching the project. Get samples, visualize it, and see it. Make the client see it first. If he likes it or she likes it, then we'll go ahead and then we'll move on with the project.
But even the samples, it's challenging because I've sometimes have had disagreements with suppliers because they'll have a nice display and they'll create a nice 3-sided box of some sort.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, that light looks this way in this box, but it does not look the same
in a job site.
Exactly. And so I've done that before where I've built-ins custom and one built-in was slightly larger than the other, and then you put a light, same bulb, same everything, but the temperature's not the same.
Exactly.
So there's so many variables attached to this, and you got to be careful about that. And it's a challenge for you guys. You guys have a trade that when you finish your job and you turn it on, let's say if you just hit one switch and you turn everything on, it's an emotion you feel first instead of a thing that you see first.
I agree.
Clients and tradespeople feel the overall lighting than they do see the overall lighting. And that feeling is what either sells it or says, I'm not happy and we need to change this.
Change
now.
stuff, yeah.
Right? But you guys have that sales portion of it where now you have to make sure you covered your bases and go, listen, sure, I'll install everything. You provided all the fixtures and then we put all this together as per the drawings. But if it's not feeling the way you want it to feel, it's not my responsibility. You can't blame me.
Yeah.
Right? So
Exactly.
you got to go back and you got to absorb some of that cost, right? That's important.
Exactly. I had a client that had old style of pot lights, right? Hey,
Baffles and everything, or?
yeah, it wasn't that old.
Okay, all right.
No, it was, how do you say, with the MR16,
Yes,
those bulbs.
or the GU10s or whatever.
GU10s or
Yes,
whatever.
yes. They still make them.
They do still. I don't like them.
I don't. Yeah.
But I went, it looks awful because some bulbs that they replaced, one of them is white color, the other one was yellow color, and this and that. I'm like, you feel,
Yeah, I know.
you know,
I know
like,
exactly.
I'm
I
very
can already
uncomfortable.
see it and I'm feeling it and I don't like it. I know.
Exactly.
I know.
So I said, you know what? My job wasn't replacing those pot lights. My job was another portion.
But you saw that.
I saw that. I'm like, do you want to replace those pot lights? I'm like,
I'm not trying to sell you. I'm not trying to upsell
Yeah,
you.
but-
This is bothering me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly how I said it. I said, can we replace those pot lights? And the guy is nice enough. He's like, how much extra is going to cost me? It's like, if you give me this project, I'll give you a discount on this, but please replace them. It bothers me. So,
And it should bother you. It
yeah.
totally should. Yeah.
and we end up replacing it.
So you got more work just because
Yeah.
you spoke your mind, which is great.
Yeah, like now he feels great. He goes in the basement. He's like, wow, I feel great.
It's a big difference.
It big difference. It matches the colors, right? So yeah.
How's your relationships with the apprenticeships? How has it been easy? Are there a lot of good guys and girls out there that want to be electricians?
I have good I have good experiences with apprentices, because I don't know if I got lucky or something. I don't know, but I hired a guy. I took him out of the college, skilled trades college.
Okay.
I heard it's a great place to recruit.
I've
right?
heard both sides. I don't know if it's a great place. It depends on who you're speaking with.
Exactly, but so far I had good experiences with them.
Okay.
Anytime I need someone to hire, I go there.
You go there.
I go there. I see some resumes, and you kind of read it through. You don't know who to expect and what to expect. Yes, but I tell him, come. Just whoever you are, just come. Show me what you do. I'll watch him a couple days, and you kind of get the feeling in a couple of days if he's a lazy guy, if he walks like.
It's interesting you're saying that, because it's almost as if you're not really interested in knowing how much electrical he needs to know or has, as much as
I don't care about that.
as what kind of a tradesperson he's going to become.
Exactly.
Right?
I like to look at it in a way that I'm hiring that person.
Yes.
I can't teach him the work ethic. I cannot teach
Character.
him character. I cannot teach him this. I want to hire those. Electrical, I can teach him.
Yes.
Electrical is easy for me to teach him, but I'm not gonna, I cannot build a character. Although he can look it up, like you can, if his boss or the person around, people around him, they have good character, he can become one over the time.
Yes.
However, there are some fundamentals that you cannot change. I hire the guy. He comes in, he runs. I give him like a jokingly, I say, oh, run, grab me ladder. And he runs. I'm like, wow, we're 2022. People are running to get me a ladder.
Running's for amateurs. No,
Yeah,
I know. It was a test. You failed. No, I know. No running on site.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
funny. So there's a good pool out there that you've experienced.
You see the work ethic of that guy. This guy wants to do something. He wants to do. He wants to be better. He wants to get better at everything. So I like that personality, because I've been that. I still are. We always learn. We always try to get better. Even though you have like 20 years in experience, I think you always learn. Always come across things that you never seen before. So why I want to say, oh, you look at me, I know stuff. No, just be humble. Try to learn new things and teach. Right? So
that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Where do you want to take your business from here, man?
Okay. My business, one of my main goals is to help the apprentices to build better electricians. Like, yes, big company is good to have, but we have a lot of electrical, let's say, electricians are, assholes. Electricians are...
Oh, there's assholes in every single trade.
Are not cleaners. They don't clean, right?
Okay. Oh, yeah, and that's a big thing.
A lot of, negativity, right?
Yes.
I like to work on those. I like to make electricians better, make them have fun, not to worry about million years from now, just have fun. You have a great trade. People always will need electricians. You're set.
All over the world.
All over the world. And you're set. You don't have to worry about anything else. You just do your job. You improve every day. And then you're set for life.
Do the best that you can that day, that job, and then
As
try to improve
long
the
as-
next one and improve the next one.
As long as your next day is better than the day before,
Yes.
you're doing good.
Yes.
Just try to relax and have fun. That's my culture I want to build around the company.
But I've spoken to a lot of electricians, and I'm going to get Pato back on the show as well too. And it's been hard. He's found some good guys, some good, up and coming apprentice, but there's far many more that are not good.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. And the bigger your electrical company will get, 99% you're going to get a bad guys, right? The bigger you get, you can't have all good apples in one basket. You're going to have the good ones, you're going to have the bad ones. It's a lot of challenge to how do you say, direct
To navigate. Yeah.
those bad ones to slowly become good, it's a lot of hard work though, but I think it's doable to the extent of fundamentals again.
Yes, yeah.
If the fundamentals are good, then you can build on them. It is up to the whoever's hiring to see that fundamentals if it is there. If it's not there, you don't want him on the thing.
No.
Even he's the best electrician in the world. He knows everything. Just if he's not a good person, for me, fire that person.
It's not worth to have that.
To have
that vibe. To have that.
Exactly.
Because that vibe will infect
everyone. Exactly.
And nobody wants that on a job site.
Not only electricians, it will affect
all the
plumbers,
other trades, yes.
The painters.
Because you guys are always working on top of each other at certain, like
Exactly.
mechanical stage, you kind of stagger it a tiny bit, but you guys cross paths with HVAC mechanical, you cross paths with plumbers, you cross paths with framers doing back blocking and all this other stuff.
Exactly.
So it's like everybody's there. You have to get along. You all have to be on the same kind of page, right?
Exactly. And I had a story of that. I walked into a site that HVAC people was working. The supervisor and an apprentice. And me and my apprentice, we were working, right? And that supervisor was just yelling on the thing, go grab me this. You're useless. You're this, you're that. I'm like, dude.
There's no reason to.
There's no reason. You're angry. You're damaging that kid.
Yeah.
You're damaging that kid. You're not helping. You're not making easier for those apprentices to become tradespeople. If we make ourselves better and we treat them better, not necessarily, spoil them.
Don't baby them.
Don't baby them.
Yeah.
But don't put them down, just say, okay, you did this bad thing, try not to do it next time.
Learn.
Yeah. We all do mistakes.
Yes.
Learn it, don't do it again. If he keeps doing it, then either you fire him, you give him warning, you do this, you do that, but don't talk to him like that.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Yeah. So I was telling my apprentice, listen, we should not, if you ever see me doing this, just
tell me,
come to me. I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a supervisor or a supervisor yelling at you and treating you like that. If I, for any circumstance, if I do that to you, just come up to me. Just say that you treated me like this and this and that. We're here all adults. We're not kids. We don't have anything against each other, and just say it, speak up, whatever you feel, just speak up. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to, make you a better person, and I'm here to make myself a better person, so.
It's true. I find that anybody who decides to get into electrical and become an electrician and go down that path, apprentice, electrician, master, they're in it for the long haul. I think the majority of people that commit to it, they're in it for the long haul.
And I guess it's because of the process of it.
Yeah.
Because it is 5 years of apprenticeship.
Commitment.
Then 3 years after that to get a master. Whoever gets in, it's just like doctors, right?
Yeah.
You get in, you're a doctor for life. You get in electrical, you're an electrician for life. I think because of that process is long term, people, they want to, if before they go in, they think about it being a long term. They say, okay, am I ready to get into this? Because if I get into this, in order for me to become an electrician, it's 5 years.
Then 3 years.
Exactly.
And then it's 30 years of being an electrician, pulling wire and running all that stuff.
Exactly.
And coming up with as many plumbing and HVAC jokes as you possibly can so you guys can attack each other, right? Because you guys are constantly doing that.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's just
all
for fun.
It's all out of fun.
Exactly.
I totally
And I kind of like that.
I've heard the versions where the electricians are putting down the plumbers, and I've heard the same version of the plumber putting down the electrician. Same joke, two different trades.
Exactly.
But it's all done out of fun. Everyone respects
and that's
each
how
other.
it should be.
Yes.
Yeah. We're here for fun, my friends. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what tool brand are you, man? Like what?
I'm a Milwaukee guy.
You're a Milwaukee. That's what I figured, man.
Yeah.
All you Sparkies are all going towards red now.
When I first started, I think I tried DeWalt because I didn't have the money to buy whatever, and I was using my brother's old tools.
Not cheap either.
No, I understand, but I was using a used one actually.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't like it. I said, you know what? And once I had the money, I put aside some money to buy tools because they're not cheap, man.
No.
So I said, you know what? Let me try Milwaukee because everyone I see was using Milwaukee, and I loved it since then. Now they have so many varieties of so many different tools. Every single thing has a tool now.
It's crazy
amazing.
now. Is it really necessary? Do you really need all those things? It makes
not all of them.
Okay.
Not all of them. I think it is faster sometimes to actually you do it your hand, then go grab the tool from the truck, and then do it, and then go put it back in, and then you have to have the space for it. As you know, we have trucks, vans, and whatever.
You gotta organize.
We need space. Space for us is very important.
Yeah.
We can't just buy stuff. Oh, it's a good tool. Let's buy it. You end up having no space in your van. You have to pick and choose which one is really exactly.
You have to be efficient.
Efficient, exactly.
I'm just curious. Back home, what are the popular tool brands back home?
It's kind of when I was there, which we're talking like 12 years ago, when I was there, I never seen an impact driver.
Nobody has one? Just drill driver.
Whoever was rich
had an impact.
Who have an impact. Like a regular trades people,
No,
screwdrivers.
Just screwdrivers.
Screwdrivers.
Wow.
Yeah. And I never seen cordless.
A decade ago.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly. I never right now how it is. I don't know. But At that point, when I came here, I'm like, wow, here's an impact driver. Look at this machine. Look at that machine. And I was fascinated by it. Like, here are great tools. And imagine every screw that you hang a box, you do it manually. How long that's going to take for you?
That's hurting my wrist just thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
No impact gun and just drive it right in.
Yeah. Sometimes I just stand there and look at the construction in Canada, how efficient it is. And then people still complain about it, that taking us so long.
I know.
You go in there, you see those tools are working, like concrete people with their tools and heavy machines and the drilling and coring, and then the insulators with their tools and the painters. So many tools making our trade faster and more efficient. It's amazing for me. A lot of countries, most of the countries, I would say, they don't have those opportunities. They don't have those tools. They don't have those because over there it costs fortune.
Yeah, it's too much.
It might be having, we must have those tools. I'm sure we have, but the thing is to get them. Not everyone can afford those, and not everyone, especially export stuff, has a lot of tax on it. You can't afford it.
By the time it gets there, it's
just like triple.
Yeah, it's not worth
amount.
it at that point.
It's not worth it.
I mean, with here in Canada, are we losing a little bit of the skill because we're relying a lot on the tools?
I would.
You've seen it on Instagram. Everybody that they buy all these tools and automatically they think that they're rock stars, right? They're perfect tradespeople.
Exactly, but the thing is, are they skills that we had like 50 years ago is still necessary?
No, we have to evolve. Construction has to evolve.
So that's why now we have tools. Now we learn better skills. Maybe the skills with the hands will be less, but now we have other skills that we have to develop, like treating people, like managing skills.
Go back to being human.
Being human.
Yeah.
Well, back in the days, for them was hard with learning skills with their hands, but they were much easier with the management skills, much relaxed, I guess. I don't know, right? But now that section of it, it's getting more difficult. The doing the work, it's getting easier. Yeah. But other associate part of it, it's getting much harder, which I think now we have to focus on learning those, right?
I agree. Totally agree. And how much bigger do you want to get right here? At what point do you start realizing, okay, this is my version of success? For me, sky's the limit. Okay. And getting bigger not necessarily means success. Nope. Right? For me, as long as I have good people around me, and as long as I have food on the table and a roof above my head, I am happy already. Yeah. Right? As long as the more I get, the happier I am. But I am happy at this station already. Right? So how big I want to get is, one time I said when I first came to Canada, I saw the CN Tower. I said, I want to work in there. I want to do work in that tower. I want to change a light bulb. I want to do something in there. Have you? Have you done? I have not yet. Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I have done some amazing projects, which I take proud of. Very challenging ones. And of course, the longer you're in the trade, the more challenging opportunity will come. So I'm very excited what is going to be unfold in front of me. So we'll see.
And you're prepared for it too.
I am prepared for it. And I am, I'm excited and just to see if we can manage it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the challenge for me. You get a project. Oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. oh, I like it. This is a little challenging. It's not like, oh, we're doing some pot lights in a house that we can do it with the eyes closed, you know. It's challenging. I like it. Let me take it.
But not everybody's like that. I had a client, one of my best clients ever. They sold the house that I did a lot of work for, and then they were reluctant to sell it because they didn't want to leave it, but they wanted to just get another place. So they bought another place, and then they quickly discovered there was a lot more knob and tube in the new place, and then their insurance wouldn't touch it.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to replace it. So I spoke to one electrician asking, would you be interested in tackling the knob and tube job, which I'm sure you've tackled it once before or even several times. This is Toronto. We still have a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And there's a process, and it's hard work, and you've got to figure out.
It's messy work.
It's very investigative work.
Exactly.
Right? There's more work than just standard running a new and wiring a brand new house. I totally get it. And he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. He wanted nothing to do with it. He just looked at it. It was going to be a headache. He didn't want to do it. So I gave it to somebody else. I actually gave it to Pato, and Pato did it, and he loved it. And he was a different mindset. It was no different than whenever I've met new trades that I want to work with. I want to see their eyes light up. They're excited. They want to do it. It's a challenge. They want to figure out how to, that's what I wanted to see. And that's what I saw in Pato. And then he was like doing it. And all of a sudden he did an amazing job, and the clients were very appreciative, and he made good money. He did a good job, and he did everything legitimate, found so many problems.
Of course.
And like we talked about on this show so far, you find it, you own it now.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate because now my calls are going to be going to him instead of.
Of course. No, but what I think is, because of how you are, that's how you like that guy.
Yeah.
You attract what you are. For the other electrician, he will find people like him.
And he'll stay in that safe
for
area.
Environment.
Yes.
So that's how I find it, you know. For me, I think about me being here is for a reason, right?
Yeah.
We attract each other. It's nothing.
I love stories like your story, like who you are and your mindset. When I first met you, we got along.
Exactly.
I never met you before, never spoke to you, nothing, but we just got along.
Yeah,
right?
like this is how we had, like, as people. If you want to attract better people, first you have to be better to attract better.
Yes,
right.
100%.
Work on yourself to attract better people. Right. I look at myself and my previous bosses, right, and I could see how I personally evolved with the bosses I had. It's very interesting. The first boss I had, he was an amazing guy, but he was lack of confidence. I had a lack of confidence. The next one had better confidence, better whatever, and less of a nice guy, which I was at that point. Right. And then I learned. I look at my bosses evolving, and I'm like, wow, I am evolving in the same process. So that taught me of, you become better, you will attract better people.
100%.
So that's why I'm here right now.
Yeah, I know. And every tradesperson should be like that. We got to wrap it up soon. So sorry, Angelina, the clock went out, but I'm guessing it's 90 minutes, right? That's what I figured. So no big thing at all. I want to do these other segments I don't care about because I was enjoying the conversation and just talking, right? But I want to do the last segment, which is the 12 questions of construction. But I also still want to let everybody know. So Triple M Electric, and it's www.triple-melectric.ca, and it's MHER.
MHER.
ER, yes, at Triple M electric.ca, and on Instagram it's Triple M Electric. And also, when you do get into the CN Tower and you are going to change a bulb, you better post a picture. You better tag me, man.
I'll tag you.
Tag the Construction Life, and we'll get through that. All right, so let's do the 12 questions. You ready for this?
Sure.
All right. I'm curious about these answers. What is your favorite construction word?
Oh, wow. Related to electrical.
Anything in construction. Could be electrical.
I say, let there be light.
What is your least favorite construction word?
Least construction word. Cheap.
Yeah. What turns you on in construction other than a light switch?
What turns me on, and the end result of the project.
Finished project, yeah.
Yeah.
What turns you off in construction?
Turns me off. negative surrounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite curse word? You don't have to swear. We haven't sworn that much in this one. That's it. But if you have a favorite curse word, it could be even in your language.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually say Mher Kerushkerian a lot. It's in my Armenian language, means, motherfucker type of thing.
Say it again.
Yeah, it's Mher Kerushkerian.
Mher Kerushkerian.
Mher means the mom. Kunem means
Fuck her.
Yeah, and actually everyone learned.
Now everyone learns a little bit. Exactly. That's all that matters. Yeah. What's your favorite vehicle in the entire world?
Vehicle?
Yeah, anything in the world. Doesn't have to be construction related.
G-Wagon.
G-Wagon's been coming up a lot. Least favorite vehicle in the world?
Least favorite. Ford Flex, I think.
Ford Flex?
I think the cube ones. I hate it, man.
Are you like Ford Flex?
Those.
There's the Nissan Cube.
Similar to that one.
Oh, is it like that?
Yeah.
It's ugly. It's like a box.
Exactly, man.
It's just ugly.
Yeah, I know. Every time I see it,
you cringe. You cringe.
Yeah.
What construction sound or noise do you love?
Sound
or noise?
Noise. I love actually the plumbers. What's it called? The torch.
When it turns on?
When it turns on.
Yeah, that little spark.
It's the spark. I love that.
Yeah,
even the smell for that one, I love it.
I like that.
Yeah.
What construction sound or noise do you hate?
Jackhammering, I would say.
That's loud.
It's loud.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt one day?
Attempt one day. Profession other than my own.
Anything in the world. Doesn't have to be construction.
Good question. Any profession. Oh wow, I never thought of that. Maybe real estate.
Get into real estate?
Yeah, maybe.
What profession would you never like to do?
That's a good one. Maybe dentist.
Yeah, staring into people's mouths.
People's mouth and the smell and the cleanness, as we were talking about.
I know.
You can't clean there in the mouth.
I could never do that. Yeah. Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, wow. You did good.
Job well done.
Yeah.
Sir, brother, thank you very much for being on the show.
It's an honor to be here, my brother.
Appreciate you being here, honestly.
Always good to see you.
Sharing this story. Everybody, again, please, one more time, www.mmelectric.ca, and it's MHER at mmelectric.ca, and on Instagram, M Electric.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir. We are out of here. Thank you very much, Angelina.
Thank you very much, Angelina. Right.